So it's time to look at this plant, and it does look pretty much like an escalenta, which is, there's an example I've brought in, escalenta being an elephant ear. So this is a Remusatia, and this is a Remusatia hookeriana, and there's 4 of them in this genus. So let's have a look at this today and have a look at one particular aspect of it that makes it quite special. So this is Remusatia hookeriana. It was renamed at some point in history to come into the genus, but it is an aroid. It's in the Araceae family. This here is a Colocasia. So this one is it's called hybrid actually. I've got this one from I got it from a pond suppliers. But there are loads and loads of these. I've brought a load of little ones in to show you. So this is Mojito, this is Redemption, the one that changes colour. Down here I've got, what is this one? I think it's so this is the one that is hardy in the UK, Gayogalensis. I can never say it and nobody can. And obviously outside we've got like Pink China, which is hardy in the UK. We've got Metallica, which for me is hardy in the UK, with a lot of mulch. And also we've got things like Pharaoh's Mask. They're all Colocasia, so they're all variants of Colocasia escalenta. And they're called taro, and they're also called elephant ears. Well, this is different. So this is Remusatia. So again, it's an aroid. It's got pretty much the same growth habit, the same way it presents on the petiole. And there's 4 of these in the genus. So there's Remusatia hookeriana, this one, with the distribution is across India and up to the Himalayas and across to Sikkim. And the widest one is the next one, which is Remusatia vivipara, which goes into Africa as well. It doesn't really flower that often. I don't have it here at the moment, and I did think this one might be that species, but it's not. So, and then there's one more, which is the one that's over towards China, the Yunanensis one. So Remusatia yunanensis. So there's 4 of them, and this one, you know, it's got a pretty much common habit of aroids. So let me just show you, zoom right in actually. So you can see there it's got a tuber, and the tuber's got roots coming from the top of the tuber, which is definite indication that it is a tuber, not a bulb or a corm, which obviously makes it an aroid. And then it has these, which in a lot of ways you might describe as a stolon. But if you look closely at these stolons, you might not be able to see on that one, but I've prepared this one here. This particular one is branching for a start, and it's also covered in what look like bulbils, but they're actually tiny little barbed bulbils. So if I can get one and show you as close as I can, like so, you can see little barbs on them. So each one of these, if I rub this, that's why I've put the pot there. If I rub this, you can see it dropping. Each one of these bulbils, if you can see it, will make a new plant. So these aren't really known for seed propagation. They're much more known for this. And what happens is animals and even birds brush past them, get these little barbs stuck on them, and then go and, you know, fly off or run off, and then with them on the fur, drop them wherever, and that's how they've moved around Asia over time. So it, you know, it's on a runner like this. It's on a stolon, but by definition it is actually a stolon. So it's, you know, it's coming off the stem, or in this case coming off the tuber, which is a stem. So it's definitely a stolon. It's not a rhizomatous growth habit. It's not a continuation of the stem. And also you can see it, you know, it's got this branching here. Now the vivipara seems to have much more of this kind of effect, which is like the straight out stolon, whereas this one, this is the first time I've seen this level of branching on this plant. And again, I haven't seen this one flower. I have seen Remusatia pumila flower. That's flowered for me this year, and that one's quite hardy as well. I can get that one up in the ground every season. And strangely enough, right in front of me there is, I didn't notice this, but there is a Pamela. So this is Remusatia Pamela. This was from an orchid show, actually, weirdly, the other week. So I've brought this one in just to give myself some new genes. It's got some lovely little ones in there. And this one was raised indoors as much more like an indoor aroid. So I'm just hardening it off in the greenhouse so that I can eventually put it out into the collection. So it probably won't go outside this side of Christmas. So it's the end of September now, and it's obviously the temperatures are dropping, so I'm probably going to keep it in here for now and see how we go. So yeah, it's a crazy looking plant because of this growth habit, but other than that, it pretty much looks just like a Colocasia. So it's quite normal in a lot of those kind of growth habits. The way the leaves come out, the way they emerge, unfurl, is all very much like an esculenta. And one thing that is interesting with a lot of these is they're classed as epiphytes or epiphytic. So they do end up lodging in trees. So they end up in the cracks of trees where you get debris, much more like a bromeliad kind of deal, and they grow epiphytically. So there's a couple of examples of that with a couple of the Remusatia species that I've seen online, and you can see examples certainly in India where they just blow in the wind or get carried by animals, birds more, and then they grow up on rock faces or up in tree crevices, and lots of examples of that. So they are an interesting aroid. They're not one I've had for the longest amount of time. But I am growing to love them, and I'm growing them as I do grow the Colocasia. So we'll just see how we go. I'm going to actually take some of these bulbils, and I'm going to grow them as I do with some of these aroids. So this is one that used to be super rare, and I just grow it in the greenhouse now. So this is Philodendron Spiritus Sancti, and probably about 2 or 3 years ago, that would probably be worth about 1,500 quid just for one. Now, you can get them for a tenner, I think, 10 or 15. But if you notice, I just have that stuck on the side of this branch with a couple of bromeliads. And again, it's just in the greenhouse, so it's not heated yet. So what I'm thinking of doing is I probably, would like to grow or try and grow some of these Remusatia in some of the crevices in these branches up in the top of the greenhouse. So we'll see how that goes in the future. I really hope you're enjoying our videos, and if you are, please give us a thumbs up. We mostly cover things to do with indoor and outdoor aroids, and also any equipment or tips and tricks that we can pick up along the way. If you like it enough to give it a thumbs up, then why not subscribe to the channel? Hit the notification bell and I can let you know when we upload new content, which is every week.